The YouTubers coming in, they have their selfie sticks. It's so funny to see everybody just walking around like, look, I'm in Dalton. We need a future, and that it just doesn't end with Tiffany like you were saying.
Hello everyone, I'm Melanie Jongsma with the Lansing Journal, and this week's video we are in the Dalton Public Library and we have a special guest. And I think our viewers will be interested in this because you are our first YouTuber guest, and some of our viewers don't realize that we too are on YouTube. That's what we use to host our videos. But the way we use YouTube is different from how you are using YouTube and how many of the other media people out there are using YouTube. So I'm going to introduce to you Lolita, who's host of the channel Burgundy Blue Commentary.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about some of the different ways we're using that, how she's using it, and even though we use it differently, I think we have some similar goals in mind. So I think this is going to be an interesting conversation, and I hope you'll stick with through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Welcome, Burgundy.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming here because I want to learn from you. You are doing things that we're not doing, and I think we may be able to learn from you and enhance our own work as the Lansing Journal.
Thank you so much. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning so much as we go.
And that's really the nature of it, isn't it? We're all just kind of figuring this out as we go along. Media has changed over the past several years, and we're trying to figure things out and keep connecting with people and figure out the best ways to keep people informed and connected, as we like to say.
Yeah.
So you've been on YouTube for about 3 years. You started in 2020.
Yes. Yeah, I started YouTube in 2020. My big sister, she encouraged me to go out and do it. She would watch the YouTube channels all the time, and one of our last conversations were, you should start a YouTube channel. You know, you have a lot to say, because I like to run my mouth, I guess. So she said. That
sounds like something your sister would say.
Yeah, definitely a big sister too. So yeah, so I like that she gave me that idea, and in the middle of the pandemic, it was nothing to do. So I said, why not? So I stuck my toe out there to do it.
And it looked to me like you started, maybe people don't know, there are YouTube videos, and then there's YouTube Live, which is a separate tab, and you jumped right into YouTube Live, it looked like.
Yeah, it seemed like it was easier. It just seemed like instead of the editing, I just go in there and talk, and then that's it. So it's like a video. Yeah, I jumped right in there with commentary.
Okay. Like, how did you start getting followers? Were these mostly people that you knew in real life, and they started following your channel?
Oh my God, I used to beg people in real life to follow me. That's a no-no. Don't do it.
That doesn't work.
Don't do it, because now you have they're watching you. But a lot of people are like, I'm not going to follow. So I just started building organically. People just started to find me, and that's the good thing about the YouTube algorithm. They start to suggest you and push you out there more. So yeah, I would look at what people were talking about, or maybe what's trending, and then I'd go out there, and then people would find me more.
Okay. So you were pretty savvy right from the beginning.
I learned from YouTube University. So that's it.
Okay.
You know, you just go on YouTube and how do I, change an engine or anything through YouTube. You can figure it out.
All right. And I noticed this morning you have over 8,000 followers or subscribers.
Yeah. I'm grateful. I never thought I'd get past 1,000, so I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
8,000 it's not a huge number in terms of YouTube, but it's more than the Lansing Journal has on our channel. We have, I think, 2,500. It's not as many as some of these other people who have been following the Tiffany Henyard drama, like Hannibal is Hungry, he has 66,000. Nate the Lawyer has 483,000. And O'Shea Duke Jackson has 372,000. Those are big names in the world of YouTube, especially around the whole Thornton Township Dalton drama. But I think what separates you from the big dogs is you are right here in town. You're a Dalton native.
Yeah, yep. Like our mayor says, I grew here, I didn't fly here. For sure. So yeah, and I love all those channels. I started watching them, and I just was looking at what they were saying, and then you know, I have my own ideas and I might comment on it because I'm here. So yeah, I have respect for all those channels and the Lansing Journal because all of those channels, including myself, we use your clips for everything. Yeah, we use your clips for everything. You're the only one that covers a lot of things that before was popular. Like when the super mayor got appointed, you were the only one there to cover it for us. So that we thank you for that. So you deserve way more followers, for sure. For that,
I can follow.
Yeah.
So you were following these other people as they were reporting on your town, and you were you interested in politics before that, or were you interested only because they were here, because these large media were coming here?
Oh my goodness, I have no interest in politics at all. And I know this sounds silly, but I thought in my head I was just covering something. I didn't know it was going to be, I didn't realize I'm covering political things. It just dawned on me that's what I'm doing. I thought I was just talking about a subject matter everybody else was talking about. But it turned into this, but watching them, I would say, oh, well, no, that's not really how it went, because I'm here, and or what I saw. But yeah, just watching them, and I said, well, let me just go out there. Let me just go out there and see what's to it.
So your first video about Tiffany Henyard had to do with her security detail, I think. Is that right? Is that the first one?
Yeah, I think I did bring that up about her security detail and how I felt about it. And also the legacy before Tiffany Henyard. That's why I wanted to start there. Like, who was here before she became the mayor, and why she may need security detail.
Okay. Because you are into history. That's what all of this
I love the
Dalton
history. I love it.
And did you, you said you're not into politics, but so you knew who the mayors were, you followed your local politics. You had some interest there.
Yeah, I got a job with one of the first black mayor of Dalton, who was Mayor Bill Shaw. So he gave me a job. So I did work for Dalton, so that when I figured out, I didn't know anything. I just go vote and that's it. But then I started to find out, hey, you have to vote for more than this, and if you're working, you may not have a job if the new administration come in. I started to learn that way, but I had no desire into politics or to follow the super mayor until the headlines got super big.
And you didn't come in with your camera to say, this is wrong and I've got an opinion and I want to share it. You were, I might be, this is the impression I got, but it seemed like you were just here to observe and to say, well, here's what I think, and I might be wrong about this, but this is what I see, and it was commentary. It was not a fully formed opinion. You were not advocating one way or the other. You were just observing and reporting.
Yeah, just observing and reporting, and giving people an inside view. That's all. I definitely don't want to choose sides in the situation because I never know what happens behind the scenes. I only know what I see. So yeah, very much so. You're correct about that. Just commentary on what's going on.
And has your opinion changed over the past several months as you've been showing up at meetings and seeing what happens? Yes.
Yeah, my opinion's changed. I'm seeing a lot differently now that I'm following it. Like, I never thought that this would take over my channel. I wanted to do one video.
We didn't either.
It's interesting, like how every day is a different part of the news, right? So just to see that and experience what's going on and starting to meet people and meeting my elected officials as well, it changed my opinion on possibly what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about media and politics and community. We've mentioned how YouTube is a different medium than typical broadcast media and than what the Lansing Journal is using YouTube for. When the Lansing Journal does a video, we only started doing videos a couple of years ago, and we started it because we wanted people to know that we are real people. We live here in the community. We wanted them to recognize Josh and myself as real reporters, real community members. So we were very intentional about being on the camera and listing our names and we wanted people to know us as people, as members of the community. So we publish a video once a week. Sometimes we have videos in our stories, but we do a special video once a week, and we're using YouTube only to host that video, and then we link to it in the story that we post on our website. And we didn't even realize that these videos, there's a whole different community of people who watch the videos on YouTube and never come to our website. They're staying on YouTube, they're commenting on YouTube. Josh was getting email notifications of comments that we had no idea, and they were getting thousands of views on YouTube that never came to our website. So that's a whole different audience that we have that we don't feel as connected with them as we do with our subscribers. Now you have that connection with your audience because you're based on YouTube.
Yes, yeah.
And what kinds of things do you do to build community with them?
Respond.
Like, what should we be doing?
Oh, yeah, respond.
Oh.
So if someone have a comment and they want to, take time and just respond. People feel connected to you if they have something to say or critique or maybe a suggestion, and you can respond to them. They feel a lot more connected. Okay. That would be great. That boosts your engagement as well. It makes more people say, hey, they're open to me and what I have to say, and they're listening to me and what I have to say.
Now, is that different on live than on a pre-recorded video, or not necessarily?
Very much different. On live, you're kind of like fighting for your life on live because any comment can come through unless you have settings that you could put into place to stop that. But it's almost like a conversation when you're on live, and everyone in the chat, because it's a chat room while you're doing a live video, they could chat with each other as well. Okay. So it's definitely it's a cool space to be in. It is. Okay. Yeah.
So you consider yourself a YouTuber? That's the correct title? I
think now, I did at first, but now I'm turning into a little bit of a independent content creator / journalist. I'm giving it all. I'm mixing it up because now I don't know where I fit in.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because there are so many different forms of, I don't even know if journalism is the right term.
Right.
Because when you say the word journalism, people get a certain impression of what that means. When you say the word YouTuber, that can mean a lot of different things, especially generationally. If people haven't grown up with YouTube, or if they're more used to Facebook than YouTube, it's hard to figure out who's doing what and what good it's doing.
It is very hard, for sure.
You found that too, even though you are a YouTuber.
Yeah, I find it very difficult, and also I struggle with saying journalist as well, because I have friends that went to school for years to become a journalist, and now I'm sliding in, and I don't mean any disrespect or with anyone, but I'm sliding in now, like I'm a journalist too. So it's like, so I have a barrier there. So yeah, I'm finding a difficult time fighting that. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing about all of these YouTubers coming to town is that they are giving what's going on in Dalton and Thornton Township much more exposure than the Lansing Journal was able to give, than probably you were able to give, and it's an important story. The things that are happening are important, and we appreciate that extra coverage because they seem to have leverage that we don't have, and now the FBI is involved and other levels of authority have been involved, and so we're glad to see that kind of response. However, people who fly in to Dalton and Thornton Township just for that are not telling the whole story of Dalton. And you brought some of these artifacts as a reminder that Dalton is a real place, real people live here. There's a history that started before Tiffany Henyard arrived, and it will go on after she's gone. And this is an important part of Dalton's story too. It's an important part of our community.
Yeah, it is. I think you guys did a wonderful job covering Dalton with the reach and pushing the story forward. But it is important that people do know that we're real people here with real lives, and it's very much different to see that we're just covering that one Tiffany saga, whereas Tiffany, it was a lot of people that sacrificed for her to get there. You know, our mayor, I always like to say with respect, our mayor. It's a lot of people that sacrificed for her to get to the position she's at. And some of the things about Dalton history, like that we didn't know, we're in a good place. We're in the center of everything. We're in the center of everything. We were part of onion farming was the big thing here in Dalton. So everyone in Illinois would come to this area for farming. Big industrial area, lots of plants, lots of jobs, and those things got taken away, and that sort of changed. So each administration that come in, it's important that they bring new infrastructure in for us, because everyone just can't pick up and leave when they want to, right? So when the YouTubers coming in, they have their selfie sticks. It's so funny to see everybody just walking around like, look, I'm in Dalton, and I'm like, you know,
it's a tourist attraction now.
I'm at the Village Hall. It's so much more than the Village Hall. It's so much more. It's so much more than what the super mayor is doing. It's so much more, and you know, I hope that people realize that, and I hope that we have a future. Like, they acknowledge the past, and I hope that they start to see that we need a future, and that it just doesn't end with Tiffany, like you were saying. Yeah, a lot of people bought their forever homes here. I remember growing up, and one of our things that our cousins and stuff would come to town, or friends. Pop Staples lived here, from the Staples singer. So it was like, that was kind of rich. Yeah, it was ritzy. Like, we have a house up the street from Pop Staples. Like, that's amazing. We had a politician before. Like, it's really, it kind of, we don't have big scandals like this. Like, I think the biggest scandal was Mel Reynolds at one time. But other than that, you know, for people to come out in the news, and these are people forever homes here. They're forever businesses, and they want to fight for it. They want to fight for it. And I hope people remember that, you know, it's not just about Tiffany, it's about the community.
Right. That's why the Lansing Journal has been here. When we talk about community, we're not talking just about Lansing, but about the region. There are towns around us who don't have a newspaper, and we try to represent them too, because there are real people living here, and community is all of the stuff that happens in between elections. It's parks, it's businesses, it's families, it's parades. That's what people are fighting for when they go to a village meeting and voice their opinions.
Oh yeah, the last parade we have, that's one thing that the mayor the last board meeting, she brought up the 4th of July parade was gone for over a decade, and she's bringing it back. You can actually look on YouTube and find parades from the 80s from Dalton. It's very, very interesting to see things like that. And the pool, she wants to open back up the pool, but of course we know it's the underlinings of budgets, and we don't know what's going on. But she wants to open the pool. But growing up here, it was a wonderful pool in Dalton for the community. So yeah, it's you guys covering the region. I want to talk about a cool book, the Dalton Tattler. That was, and I noticed Marlene Cook writes for the Lansing Journal. And when I tell people about the Dalton Tattler, which isn't available in the Dalton Public Library, which is strange to me, years ago my mom bought the book from Village Hall. And she rode the trolley, the Dalton trolley, and she read all the stories about Dalton through Miss Cook's book. So now all we have is the Lansing Journal in this area. We used to have the Penny Saver and the Centennial. Now we really, you know, we look towards the Lansing Journal for our local news. So we thank you.
Local news is important.
Yeah.
From this fascinating history to today, we're in some crazy times right now. and it's hard to know what to think. It's a hard time for regular people to get involved in the local community, maybe especially in Dalton, but throughout Thornton Township, throughout our community. It's different and it's difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you have any advice, any words of wisdom to regular people in real life, but also to the YouTube community.
Yeah, because I'm learning along the way as well. The only thing I would say is like on and off YouTube and in real life and coming to the board meetings, engage respectfully. Just be respectful, engage in conversation is fine. Respect the other person. You know, you don't have to agree with their views,
Right.
but just the respect, you know, that comes a long way. And also, you know, within the community, don't give up on us, don't give up on Dalton, don't give up on the community that you're in. That's my advice. It's politics, so it's hard to extend kindness a lot of times. But if we keep that at the focal point, that'll help. And let's stick at the task at hand. The task at hand. Whatever your goal is and your task, stick there, and try not to get caught up in other things. Yeah.
Yeah. Very wise words of wisdom from Burgundy Blue.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for the work you're doing. You are sort of a gentle voice on YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
In the midst of all this controversy, you've stayed true to the community, and I appreciate that as a member of the community and as a fellow YouTuber who's trying to figure things out and trying to provide information in a clear way, in a concise way that will make sense to people who are watching who weren't there. So thank you for the work you're doing. Please keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will provide a link below to your channel, and we hope that some of you follow Burgundy Blue as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you to the Lancet Journal. I really appreciate it. I enjoy reading everything and watching you on YouTube. So I'm looking forward to see you grow and grow and grow. And I gotta get one of those T-shirts. So, thank you so much. So we're staying informed and connected.
That's right.
And over on my channel, we say in my channel, we be like, we're connected in value.
I like that too.
Thank you so much.
It's like we're sister publications.
Yeah. Look, I'll just make the mistakes. You just learn from me. I'll make the mistakes. Thanks for having me.
You are too kind. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week.